speak. One word is enough, and I'm no longer so rough. I forget what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me know what set me if it could flee. Me have to take away me say. Me have to take away me say. Me have to hide like a thief in the night. Me have to get out of sight. Me have to take away myself. I have to take away myself. I have to utilize I wings. Surely I cleave your eyes. I said, yeah, I find you very hard to resist. But this relationship I'm gonna desist. But how can I face you when all I wanna do is just taste you? I know you think I play me, I play, but soon you're gonna see the light of day. Just relax, don't move an inch. I'll be gone in a pinch. May I feel take away myself. May I feel take away myself. May I feel hide like a thief in the night. May I forget out of sight.
Greetings, greetings, kings and queens. Welcome to another Real Stuff podcast. Today is Tuesday, 11th. Gonna do it like we always do it. Today's Caribbean Topics. I'm Franco. I'm gonna be linking up with Flavius in a few minutes. Max Wanet is out today. So, stick and stay. Don't go nowhere. I will be right back. The music you're hearing right now in the background is none other than Tafina, Take With Myself.
Sayonara, the hot girl gone through the door. Take away ourselves. Ah, yeah, 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 yeah. Send up everybody, girl, let me take me ourselves. Take me ourselves. Send up everybody, girl, let me take me ourselves.
Hi, this is Pam Hall, and I'm inviting you to hang out with Flavius and Franco on the Real Stuff podcast. They're such great company.
Oh mama, mama, oh mama, mama, oh mama, mama, keep on loving me so boy. I met a boy the other day, got the sweetest loving ever come my way. Anything I say when he loves me this way. The only thing I say is, oh mama, mama, keep on loving me so boy. Oh mama, mama, keep on loving me so boy. You got bad boy in it, so wonderful. You got bad boy in it, so wonderful. Bad boy, so wonderful. All I can say is, oh mama, mama, keep on loving me so boy. Oh mama, mama, keep on loving me so boy. You love me with your tone, 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 dee tone break. Man, you better run come, cause I need a fix. Man, you better run come, cause I need a fix. I feel it, ay, 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 ay. Oh mama, way. Only thing I say is, oh mama, mama, oh mama, mama, oh mama, mama. Keep on loving me so bad. And you hit me with it ton, dee on the brakes. Man, you better run, come, cause I need a fix. Man, you better run, come, cause I need a fix. I sing it, ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Ooh, me so bad boy. Oh, mama, mama, keep on loving me so bad boy. Oh, mama, mama, keep on loving me so bad boy. Oh, mama, mama, oh, mama, mama, oh, mama.
Yes, indeed. The music of Miss Sharon Forrester Bagwire. I got Flavius here with me. Top of the morning, Flavius. Top of the morning.
Morning, sir. Morning, listeners, morning viewers to the Real Stuff Podcast. Tuesday morning. How are you doing over there, Franco?
I'm doing good, I'm doing good. Everything is good on
Wonderful,
my neck of the woods. What about you?
Oh, yeah, we have bright sunshine, man. Bright sunshine. Nice, very nice. Nice cool breeze.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you know that I am all green.
Right, all right. Green grass, huh?
Yeah, man, green surrounds me, man. That is, when you wake up in the morning, man, you know, nice, fresh air. Oh, really nice.
I'm glad to hear
Really
that.
nice.
I'm glad to hear that you're surrounded by greens.
Yeah, man.
It's good.
Nature,
good.
man. Nature at its best.
Yeah, man, that's what you need.
At it, I'm in like a partial basin, so the hills are right around me, and the hills are completely green.
Okay. That's what I love to hear.
Very
man.
nice. Very nice.
That's what I love
Could
to hear.
not complain.
So today the Queen is on her journey to LA.
Oh, she hasn't reached LA yet?
No, she left this morning. She left this morning to LA.
Oh, I thought it was yesterday morning.
No,
Yeah.
this morning she
Oh.
left. She's en route to LA. So
Okay.
LA will be seeing Queen Labafu today. You said she's
Yeah, they have a lot of Garifuna people down there.
waiting to greet you. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, man.
It's a big welcoming, Things like
Yeah.
that is nice. So Max,
Yeah, man.
Max Wanet is on a vacation. She's on a vacation.
Sabbatical, yeah.
What you
Yes.
call it?
Sabbatical. But you know that. You're a church man.
Yeah, man. That's why I ask you, because I never knew you have that, such, what do I call it?
I'm a-
Religious.
I'm a church. Remember I went to KC. That's the ultimate.
That don't mean
church
everybody
school.
will go KC religious. I know about the church.
No, I mean, you don't have to be religious, but you have to take part because, once a week, on a Wednesday, we have to go to the chapel for a full service,
Once a week.
No, devotion every day, but once a week we have a full service in the chapel, where more times than not the bishop takes the service himself.
You should have come as stats, man. We have it 3 times a week. 3 times a week.
Well, you have a full service 3 times a week.
Yeah, man. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
It's like a 2-hour service,
Oh, it not for be that long, cause I mean, when you look at the guys them at George's, it's 1 hour mass them usually have is 1 hour.
We have our thing every morning still, or every evening.
Mm-hmm.
But the Wednesday one is when the bishop himself comes.
So how many kids either way for that from that 2 hour service?
No man, that is one thing you can't hide from,
Mm-hmm.
Punishment is severe.
Uh, I know one or two. I know one or two guys must slip away. I can tell you that.
Are some complete, but is not is not advisable because you actually dissing the bishop.
I know a guy
I,
who used to
I
work with
remember,
me.
but remember, the bishop is the founder,
Mm-hmm. I
the
have a
founder of the
friend.
school.
I have a friend who used to work with me, right? And him used to tell me, say, boy, Bimbo, me never used to go, Him say, Bimbo, me never used to go. Me say, eh? Him say, me never used to go. So me understand. Yes. So today is what? Caribbean Hot Topics? Hot Topics?
Yes.
We'll
We are.
pick out some stuff.
We'll be talking about lots of stuff,
You know,
and we are inviting everybody to come into the Zoom room and talk to us live.
I see two people inside the room there right now. So,
Okay.
they can feel free to be a part of the conversation.
Yeah.
I'm just going to touch a little bit on what Teddy was saying yesterday because I had a discussion with a couple of brethren of mine, concerned Jamaicans as well. And they was two were listening to what Teddy was saying. And they are in total agreement that prisoners in Jamaica shouldn't be getting so much free time on their hands.
Yeah, freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah, freedom.
They should be doing hard labor because if we want them to come back out and be good to society or say that they have learned a lesson, then the lesson have to be, if it wasn't done from, growing up and then they end up behind bars, then when they're in jail, prison, whatever it is, they should be given work to do, even if it's inside the prison or outside on the street, whatever that the government have in mind, places that need cleaning up or buildings that need to paint or fix up, whatever. They should be a part of that cleaning up process. And they were saying maybe, just maybe, it might change, a couple minds who decided that they're going to do wrong, going to prison, and they're going to dress every day in them Clark shoes and them pretty pants. And, it's like, as he was saying, some of the prisoners were saying they're in gated community. Yeah. They're in gated community, so it means they're protected.
Oh yeah, they are powerful, man.
So he was they were saying that, yeah, man, some of the prison freedom need to be taken away. And I think so too. I think so too.
But Teddy's second suggestion, other suggestion, is what I really, really like. Where you put the ladies to work, and it's not only work, Remember, some have to get training to do that kind of work. So when they come out, they will come out with a skill, a well sought after skill, and they will come out with money in the pocket, and they will learn responsibility.
But
okay, if a woman going there and she have her kids out there, and she can be working and looking after her kids, serving her time. I think if that don't change them, something wrong. I really think something is wrong.
But what wouldn't be the same thing for men? It would be the same thing for men too, you know. It does not for women
All,
for that, all
no,
prisoners,
no, no,
for
no,
all
no.
sexes.
No, the thing about women, is that Teddy has already found employment for them. It's for us to find a similar type of employment for men. But men could do that same work too.
It's there.
Men could do that same work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will be there. Once they settle. That and another thing I was mentioning that the private sector would have to come into and play the role as well, because that's where some of the bulk of work would be coming from. The private sector would be giving them work as well, so they would be making money from.
What Teddy was talking about,
No, I'm not talking what Teddy is saying. I'm saying that just like some of the prison system, that's how it work up in the up here. Private sector step into. Company need uniforms to be built. Prisoners are make the uniforms. And send it back and the company sell it. And I'm sure there's a lot of company doing it too as well. Like a sweat factory for them, So it has to go. There's many ways it can be done. Many ways it can be done. And it has to start soon.
I think it's a brilliant idea, and we should really look into it properly and try and implement, because it will work better for everybody.
I hope it get done.
If a man go to prison and learn a skill and earn and see his potential, when he come back out a smart person, he can just continue.
Oh yes.
And that go much better for the whole society.
And you never
because
know.
You don't have criminals, less criminals on the outside. Because you're converting those,
True.
Because that's the reason why people become criminals, is because of their needs. And from you can satisfy their needs and show a better way. And them say, boy, them really doing well. It doesn't make sense to go back out there and run from police and all that thing again. You come out and your job, you get your money, you look after your family, you can move up in life as far as, living a good life.
True.
I don't know. I don't know what most people, but I would want that. I would want this run up and down business and go to court and this and that. And that can't be nice. I don't know, but it can't be nice.
There's a lot of work to be done.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of work to be done.
We have to have the mindset, and we have to have the will. Those are the important things, though. The mindset and the will. If we have that, man, we're all right.
We're gonna take a music break and then come back, and then we're gonna see what our participant in the Zoom room with us this morning.
Yeah.
I think I see Stacy Ann Green is there. Myself is there.
Okay.
Lauren Ross is also there. And there's a fire tablet there as well. So we're going to take a musical break and then come back and see if you guys... Go ahead, no, Flavius.
No, go ahead. No, I was saying that... Okay, go to the break.
Yeah. We'll be right back. Stick and stay. Don't go nowhere.
Whoa. walking on sand and holding your hand. Feel like a tourist in my own homeland, in my own homeland. Enjoying the bright, the warm sunlight. Oh my God, what a beautiful sight in my own homeland. This place is so nice, wanna do everything twice. Yes, I feel as if I'm in a paradise. No matter the season, you've got every reason. This place is another little heaven. East or west, I couldn't care less. Ooh, this place, it is definitely blessed. My own homeland. North or south, feel free to wander about. You can jump, dance, or sing and shout in my own homeland. Give yourself a treat, a few days or a week, and you will see just what I mean. Just take my advice, everyone is nice. You feel like royalty, my friend. Pulsating, vibrating, reggae, reggae, reggae. Every sky, rock, a steady mental. A quadrillion, a kumina, kumina, kumina. You can fill your belly with a coconut jelly. Mango, papa, cane and guinea. There's ackee and a saltfish and a roast yam and banana. Curried goat and a managed water. The Sunday special if you like a revival. Catholic, Baptist or Pentecostal. The house of Jah is there, have no fear. Walk right ahead and get your share. I'm walking on sand. I'm holding your hand. Feel like a tourist in my own homeland. In my own homeland. Feel like a tourist in my own homeland. A homeland, my own homeland. Feel like a tourist in my own homeland. My own homeland.
The beautiful voice of Miss Pam Hall. For those of you who just join us, welcome to the Real Stuff Podcast. And today we have Caribbean Hot Topic. So I'm going to ask one of my participants inside the Zoom forum who have something that they want to talk about this morning. I'm going to unmute Stacy and Mike this morning and see. Good morning, Stacy. How are you doing? How are you doing, Stacy?
I am good. I am at work.
You're at
and
work.
I just saw this and I just had to steal some free time. Luckily, I'm free.
All
so
right. Glad to know you're free. All right.
I'm free for a while.
We have Caribbean Hot Topics this morning. Is there anything you'd like to talk about? Any concern?
Uh, I think I was unprepared for this. I'm concerned. What? There's so many. No, I didn't even have one
Mm-hmm.
in mind that we could have a conversation about. I'm
Okay.
I'm seriously all right. A concern I think we could talk about. For me, is our boys in school.
Okay.
Um, continuing their education, falling off early. Or boys, what are we doing as a community, as families, to safeguard our boys?
True,
Um,
true.
that's that's the only thing I could really think about. There's this trend where it's as if some of us just have come to the conclusion that boys will be boys, and that's how it is. And so many of our boys seem to be lost, seem to be going down a path of destruction. And I'm not sure we are moving in a proactive way to save them. I don't think we are collectively, looking to say what strategies are we gonna come up with now to save our boys in the Caribbean community. What is it? Is it a given that, yeah, the majority of them just gonna take the wrong route? What is it
You
that we're
know,
doing?
one of the things that I'm trying to see if I can relive the past, which is
Yeah.
like I don't know how many community centers are still around in Jamaica. Mm, but I figure, and maybe all over the Caribbean, but I'm going to
Mhm.
speak for Jamaica in a sense. I don't know
Okay.
how many community centers are still open. But growing up, I remember we had community centers. And we are in at the community centers, you have like the Jump Corps, you have
Mhm.
also the cadet or the scout,
Yes.
and we have like the altar server, which them call altar boy, because it was a Catholic community as well.
Mhm.
But it never only nested students or kids who were a part of the Catholic Church. It was for the whole community, and it was included. Majority were boys, and then girls. They eventually started the girls, flag girls for the band, and every evening after school, after you do your homework, you go home and you do your homework. You have that gap, maybe 3 hours before it get dark, that you could be a part of the community activities. And I'm saying, if the government and private sectors can bring back some of these, and then you start it from the school level where kids can sign up to be a part of the community center activities, whether it be table tennis, basketball, football, cadets, scout, you name it, and see if we can start from there. That's just something I figure said need to come back into our society where we can, foster our children, boys and girls.
Yeah.
Netball would be there for the girls as well, and we get senior members from the community who can deal with the girls, who can deal with the boys, and see where it go from there. That's something I've been, and another part of it was there was also the police youth club. That means you have police
Yes.
participation in the community. I always said that should never ever be taken out of Jamaica because it bridge the gap between the police and the youths. You understand me? Because they would be getting training, advice from police officers, and competitions will be there among community centers. So I don't know. I just hope there's I know they're going to say there's no money to start up all of these things because I remember back in the 70s, yeah, that's how far I'm going back. Back in the 70s, when Jamaica had was to cut back on some of the social programs, and those were some of the things that were defunded, community center, and they fall under the government institution, which was SDC, Social Development Commission. So I don't know if it can start back. That's just a thought. Anybody else have anything to add to it?
Okay. Let me just add this before other than the government and the private sector funded activities, I believe too that there is a shift in our attitudes towards our children, and the concern that I think as a community we should have for the trend, for the direction they are going. So before even it reaches the community level, yes, the community was always a fundamental part of the upbringing of all the children that live close by. But as families, I think there is a shift in the accountability. Do we all hold ourselves accountable for really raising and nurturing our children? I think there is a shift. I think I see too many instances where like everybody throws their hands in the air as if it's not my responsibility, or there's little I can do. It could be because of the breakdown of all these social facilities that we had that used to really maybe help parents to to support, and so maybe parents feel that they have no help, they have no support, there is nowhere to turn. But I believe there's a general shift within even the family.
Okay.
With the accountability too. And then, as you say, so many things have been removed, because we have prioritized other things, that we see something terrible that is happening, and I do not think we are really moving towards saving especially our boys.
Can I?
Boys. Yes.
Yeah, come on in.
Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Francine.
I was just listening. Was it Stacy? Right. Now, separate and apart from, I'm happy that you added the family aspect of it. And whilst Franco was actually talking about the private sector and the government, there is a chain, there is a link. So before it actually reaches to even the community, it has to start from home. Now, boys, there's the saying that says boys will always be boys. We can't take that from them, that's the honest truth, because boys will be boys. However, while they're being boys, they will remember the teaching, because humans are like this. They will follow. Some are leaders, some of them are followers, whether it be boys or girls. But you see, if the teaching is correct from home, believe you me, anywhere in the world you go, there is that little teaching that you got from home that will say to you, hold on a little bit, this not right, So you find out that even if they find themselves within the company of wrongs, something that is inside of them in terms of that proper teaching, that proper training that you got from home, it will come alive somewhere or the other. It will come alive. I sometimes don't like the idea of talking about the community. Yes, community can raise the children, but what type of community we live in these days? What type of the world has been messed up, and one person really and truly can't change it. That's just the truth. However, if we start from home, if we decide to take back the responsibility of growing our children the right way, then it can actually start to radiate out in the world. Now, if we send our children out in a world that is already corrupt and messed up, with no proper training, no proper background, anything goes, then the first thing they're gonna do is adapt to the things out there. Or they're gonna add, if we don't show them any love, the first person out there that shows them love, they're going to cling to that person. You understand what I'm saying? If you don't hug that child, you don't tell the child. Some person, mother saying, "Me not hug up no boy, pick me and tell make him go on." No, just as how the girl loves to hear, "I love you, my daughter," the son loves to hear, "I love you, my son." Remind the child how much you love them. Give give them time, give them attention, because most of the times when children get messed up out in the society, what do you think they're looking for? They're basically looking for the love, they're looking for the attention, they're looking for things that they didn't get within. They must learn how to satisfy as well. So it's not every time you're gonna give them the big this and the big that because you're trying to compensate you not being around. So because, oh, Lord Jesus, me not get no time to spend with him. So you just give him something to go and hold him. Same ask for a game for those who can afford it. You ask for something, so because you're not at home with him, so even if him do something wrong, you know we punish him because you don't want him think say, well, then you come down too hard on him. No, the standard in the home must not be dropped. And anytime the standard fall, that's when all the cookie come down because they start to think and learn things from other persons outside.
Okay, well said, well said. Lorraine,
Yep. Well said.
Lorraine,
Yes,
good morning, how you doing?
I'm good. Good.
Okay, you heard the conversation we're having. What's your take on what we're discussing?
Well, I've just been listening because my cousin invited me to the podcast.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
on the West Coast, so
All right, okay. Keep
I'm
on
just
listening, don't
listening
go
for the
nowhere.
first
Keep on
time.
listening. Huh?
Huh?
I said keep on listening, don't go
Yeah,
nowhere. hmm
yeah, I'm
Anyone
listening for
else?
the first time,
Oh,
so I just want to get acclimated
okay.
with y'all and see what goes on. Since I'm retired now, I can do this.
Okay. Thank you, and I hope you're enjoying retirement.
Yes, I am.
Uh-huh. Is there Harrietta?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Harrietta. How you doing? Henrietta.
I am
Mm.
I am good, thank you. I joined just a few minutes ago, and so I'm listening in. I'm kind of getting the gist,
Uh-huh.
but I think I would reserve my comments. So far, I haven't heard anything that I would disagree with, but I'm still listening for a little bit more about what the conversation is on. Yes?
Thank you. Who else is there? All right, Flavius, you're back, right?
Yeah, man.
Okay, we were talking about Stacy had mentioned about our boys. We need to get back our boys, and what can we do? I had mentioned about community centers, community activities, startup community groups again, where we have cadet, boy scout, marching bands, etc., etc. So after school, after homework, there's a gap there before darkness, and they could be in a community activities. Francine came in and mentioned, just like as Stacy had said, that it also have to start from the homes, where the parents have to give them the proper home training, that if they should go somewhere, because, there are some who are followers and some who are leaders. And if they should be going down the wrong pathway, they can say, this not right, and break up back, because that's not what mommy did tell me. Because as my mother usually said, puss and dog now have the same luck. So something I might see my cousin or my friends them do and them get away with it, I try it, I never get away with it. Me get caught. So that was something that was riveting my head when she always tell me, say, puss and dog now have the same luck. Not because you see them do it, you're going to try it, you're going to get to it. No. So that was true, If you go and do something and say, boy, this is not what mama or daddy taught me, but Mr. Tom do it and Aria do it. Me not go do it, And I remember my grandmother always saying, if you see a group of people walking, there must be one good one in the group. One good one who go and say, no, that's wrong. You understand me? So let me hear what you have to say about all that was discussed so far.
Well, it's very important that we get back our boys and by extension our men. Because I think at some point in time they feel left out. Because if you look in the schools, well, after, in the tertiary education sector, university or whatever, the girls have outpaced the boys by, a huge margin in numbers and in achievements. Boys don't seem to care anymore. They don't want to achieve. I mean, you have the high achievers, but the majority don't seem to want to achieve anymore. Is like they lost something. And I think you made a good point when you bring up back how badly we have done with our uniform groups. Because see what the uniform group does, apart from training and discipline, it gives them a sense of belonging. And it also gives them a sense of achieving. Because you can do different things depending if it's scout or cadet or guides or brownies or whatever.
Marching bands.
It's all about achieving. And you're so proud when you get your badge or you get your stripe or whatever. I mean, in my days, the incentive was great because at the top of the line, you had what we call cadet exchange, where you can actually go overseas. A lot of us first trip overseas was through one of these groups. So the bar was very high, And even if you look at track and field or, in sports in general, high achievement, people belonging, you belong to your team and you want your team to win. And, we have to get this back in the school curricula. It can't be a situation where physical education is an option, sports is an option, I'm not sure how many different kind of clubs they have in schools now. I know that the uniform groups are at their lowest ever. And that needs to change because everybody is working for some form of self-actualization. And if we don't see ourselves reaching there where we feel good about ourselves, we have lost the battle. The society has lost the battle, as we are seeing now with the crime and all of that.
All right.
So that's my
on Caribbean islands. However, I know that most of the high schools or tertiary schools now they have extra curriculum as being not just optional, but it's mandatory for them to have an extra curriculum activity attached to their daily events. There is a particular school that does several different. There are different types of extracurriculum activities that is attached. But what gets the trick to it now? Because some of the boys they don't want to do any extra curriculum, so that's why they have to make it mandatory. So whether or not you like it, you have to choose one. So you make your report all A's. Listen, there's an extra curriculum attached to it. So whether or not you like it, you have to do an extra curriculum. But after doing the extraness, you know that they eventually start liking the curriculum, whether or not they like it, But there has to be some form of motivation because everybody wants to be a part of a track team. Can you run? No, miss. Can you play football? No. So but there is you have cadet, you have culinary, whatever it is, you have the different activities that can be added on. But because a lot of persons just think that, listen, track and field is the only extra curriculum. That is where most of them get left out because when you look at the field, a lot of them got to join up. And when you look at what's the one called for the Air Force? What's they call it again?
Cadets, yeah.
Cadet?
No,
Yeah.
not cadet. No. Where they do like the pilot, the what is called again? I
I
don't
don't know.
remember.
That is done in cadet, you know. That is done in cadet.
Yeah, man, but they have it separate, you know. I know what you're talking,
Oh,
but they have it separate. I just can't remember the
I
name
don't
of
know.
it now.
But when I was at school, you had a number of my peers who were pilots
Right,
from in school. They were flying
right,
all around the place, you know.
right. But
But
there's one that is specifically pointed to it, but I can't remember it now.
Yeah, there was the
okay,
air
I
cadet.
don't know I don't know what is. Yeah. You have air cadets and you have sea cadets.
And you have the sea cadets.
See cadets.
Yeah.
Your cadets. Okay. I
Yeah.
see Leighton joining. I
was one of the first cadets in Jamaica that was trained as a sea cadet. 1965.
I know Leighton is somebody who have worked with the youths them back in the days. Let me hear Leighton input a little bit now.
That good man to come in, yeah, man. That good man to come in at this time.
Come on in, Leighton. We're talking about winning back our boys through parenthood and community activities. Something to get them back, to win them back.
Yeah, you know, I find it as a very important thing. And having attended both a co-ed and a boys' school, I find there's almost a misunderstanding of how boys learn and what motivates them. Because I looked at my time at St. Anne's and my time at JC, right? I was head boy at both institutions. And one of the things that I found is boys at boys' school were given a little more latitude to be themselves. And, they learn differently and so forth. And I find that their involvement and the school camaraderie is something that is very important, and they identify with the boys that play the various sports. But again, as was earlier said, there's almost now a pointing towards being a super fan. So them don't after third form they stop doing activities and focus on CXC and so forth. And I find that in itself really, really, really takes away from them. I was involved with some street boys. We actually took them up to Newcastle in my time and so forth, and really, really exposed them to things like knife and fork and formal eating and so forth. And, there was a lot of fascination. But as soon as they understood that a 5-course meal, you start out and go in, and things like that. When they understood certain things, they found that, hey, it's for them, it's something that they could achieve. But then the attachment never really lasted long enough, I think, because it was like over a 1 or 2 summer. I think it should be something that, you follow up, even, with a mentor. Like JC has a lot of mentoring where the mentor follow up. Even on the social side of things, there are rules on how to do it and so forth, and so that it remains a healthy relationship. But boys, I'm telling you, it's an amazing thing in terms of being in a boys' school and seeing the energies that boys have and how some teachers really, really understand, and they're like a mother figure and how they do it and so forth. Because remember, there's the thing where you would say to a boy, you think you're a man? You think you're a man? And then the next 5 minutes, them say, behave yourself and go on like a man. So you find the paradox is in one sentence right away. Especially a lot of our boys are raised by mothers, and God bless those mothers because they really have done a good job. But it depends on how that mother bring them into the manhood, you know. And I find that there are a lot of activities that really, really can and should be available to them and so forth. And again, it's how you introduce them. I was never a cadet, you know. I was never a cadet, and I was head boy. And a lot of people thought I was a cadet. I subsequently went into the JDF, as you know, did 27 years there. But one of the things that I found, because I spent a lot of times around the cadet, was how the introduction was and so forth. You know, how encouraging it was and supporting it was, like, you know, the various things and so forth. People wanted to see, a lot of boys wanted to see themselves in uniform, marching up and so forth. And some were very frightened and afraid of authority because it reminded them of home. So it's just how the adults brought them on board. And I think it's a very, very important thing, the activities that happen in school, because sometime after school, you know, you not eat, you know. Is school do everything, you know, and so forth. School is the only organized place for them. And it's realizing this, you know. I'm presently doing some mentorship for the school challenge team and so forth at my school, because I also played school challenge. But and again, them say, oh, quizzes for bright. No, but it's not like that. Quiz is just like sports. Are you ready to spit out the answer? So sometimes techniques, not necessarily the brightest children do school challenge. I find, you know, so the whole business of preparing the child and nurturing their confidence. And I think it's important. And boys more than ever need this nurturing and encouragement and sometimes some tough love, you know, because I'm telling you, you know, they have different backgrounds and so forth. But, you know, I think it's very, very, very important because, you know, I looked at even the incident that happened in Jamaica yesterday, the shootout and so forth. And one such case happened, you know, with me right by Trafalgar and Hope Road there. And it was ardent children coming out and they were scoring same way. But I looked at the young man that he was marching off and I said, boy, what if somebody did catch him and so forth? The man looked confident because he fire shot too. And he did the thing. So why, you know, I mean, if someone could have channeled him in the direction, he could be anything and so forth. And, you know, I look with some sadness, but I know it's a trajectory that was long in the making. And you're right. We have to start somewhere. Save one mind if needs be. You know, and that's my little 10 cents.
Okay. Thank you very much. Francine, I think you have the answer for the school extracurriculum that you were searching for. I think you text it here. Say it's what?
It was Aviation
Club. Okay.
Yes. So I went upstairs and asked my son what it was, what club he joined again, because I couldn't remember the name. And he said, really, Mommy, it's the Aviation Club. No, I was listening to Leighton, and Leighton, my 3/4 of my family went to his last school, right? However, I transitioned over into the other C school, the first letter, but the last name is the same C. That's what.
Robiteen in a Leighton.
That's where my son attend.
Robiteen Leighton.
Yeah, but you know, it's all right because you know, everybody after 1925 tried to call themselves a school, and that's all right. You know,
I see. All right.
Francine.
Yeah.
Francine,
Yes,
you're
sir.
saying that your son is now going to the college.
The college.
Yeah, them have those aberrations.
Hey,
but
hey, listen, me now, I'm not defending late, but me go broke it up. You understand me? Me I go broke it up. Cause me jealous over that part. Anyway, I see Cecil is there. Thank you, Cecil, for tuning in again. How you doing?
Morning, Cecil.
Yes,
Good morning.
Good morning, all. I apologize for being late because I was busy. I just got the email
That's understood.
when I joined. So, what's the topic today?
We're talking about how we can win back our boys. Through family. Some a young lady, Miss Stacy, she mentioned about family support. So too was Francine. Flavius and myself agreed, but we also mentioned extra curriculum after school, like marching band, cadet, etc., etc.
Oh, okay. Well,
you don't have to participate now. Exactly. Understood.
In my days, we had scouting.
Okay.
That was our extra
curriculum
after school. Mostly, there were cadets about, but it was more like when it's thought of cadets, you're thinking of the army. But it was, in my days, it was scouting. But I haven't thought about stuff like that for, I don't want to mention a number. I would have to go too far back.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Old school, old school is good.
We're talking like 60, 70 years back.
Okay, little old school is good.
So it's yeah. So I'll just listen, and I want to acknowledge Francine. I really enjoyed your talk last time.
Thank you, sir.
And Stacy, I never heard anything from her. I see she's in a swing. I think that's what it is. Are you there, Stacy?
Yes, I am.
Are you in a swing there or something?
Yes, I'm on a swing in the Turks and Caicos Islands.
Okay. Oh, I see. Oh, this is international. So
international.
It seems so.
Great.
It seems so.
That's fine. I'm in Ontario, Canada.
Oh,
in case anybody is interested. And I heard Flavius's voice, but I don't see him.
He's on phone. He's on phone.
Oh, on the phone. Okay. Hi, Flavius.
Flavius. Oh. He's off somewhere.
Are you there, Flavius?
Yeah, man. I'm here, Cecil.
Okay.
How are you doing?
I'm doing
good. Good to have you. Good to have you.
The two of us, yes.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is my wife.
Yes.
And she's in a Zoom meeting right now, as a matter of fact. She belongs to a club, they call themselves 55 plus. So they have
very nice.
A Zoom meeting every Tuesday.
55 plus.
Okay, so that's it.
Say hello for me, please.
I certainly will, sir.
Let me see.
Is it safe to say that we're not talking about one particular topic, but we have several topics to speak about this morning?
Yes. What else on your mind?
Well, what is on my mind? It's how fearful females are these days in terms of going out on the streets, coming in at nights, especially owing to the fact that well, I'm from Jamaica. Well, Jamaica should be the most beautiful island in the world. Shh, no comments. I am happy that we should be one of the best small islands ever. However, the fear is that whilst going on the road, there is a fear. Coming home, there is a fear, especially if you have to work late, because you don't know what or when someone will pounce upon you. The whole killing of females, it is like the norm now, where you only wake up and you hear that there was a body found, or some domestic dispute, or there's a falling out in a relationship, and then that's it. Now the females are afraid. So it all goes back to the raising of our boys. So it's like a linked connection. Definitely not beating down on men, because you have some real good men, but then, and they are provoked by some females. So it all goes back to raising of children. So on either sides, there is a competition in terms of saying, yes, but then the woman caused this to happen, or the man caused this to happen, and then it becomes a blame game. Who do we really blame when a life has been taken? You know, who do we really blame?
Yeah, well, you know, I understand the concern that you have, because I have that same concern as well. Because I have a mother who's Francis's mother in Jamaica too, so I have that fear for females. But you know, it's a combination of things. It's how coarse our society have gotten, how much we have moved away from certain core values that the families had. And there's a lot of things that may have impacted people in different ways. But one should never, I mean, it's the men that majority of the of these heinous acts are exacted upon, and women and small children are usually the victim. But when you hear the names that they have, like the fatherless crew, the nah live for nothing crew,
that's
and
right.
you know, it just tells you that these things are glorified. That how wicked. I remember there was a case in Rockford, where when I went on the murder scene, they had killed dog, goat, everything in the yard they killed, and so forth. And man was just sending a message that baby, everything, and so forth, the wickedness and so forth. So you find that they themselves are hurting, because some of them never knew love as well.
Right. So this is how they describe their anger.
Yeah, man. So it's a very coarse society we have. And even me, as when I was an army personnel, and I spoke to them on the road, I'd say, big man, look at you. He said, look how wonderfully made you are, man. Pull up your pants, man. I would always try to build them up, because I knew what it was. Coming from the inner city, and some soldiers see me and say, hey boy, I'll be a gunman come from here. So I tried my endeavor best and tried to instill in my colleagues that, boy, hey, you have to treat them with some amount of kindness.
But Leighton, can I tell you, the approach makes a big difference, because there are times when persons are being targeted as being one of the worst persons from the area or whatever. And you see that same person, and you turn up and you probably say to them, it depends on what you say to them. Sometimes you have to go to the level of just reasoning with them on a different level, you know? Like, what one, brother? You know, something like that. So, because the other day I was driving out, and he cannot be more than about 15-year-old. And, you know, he turned up to me and he asked me, you can't give me a thing for buy a juice. And I say, a juice. What time is it now? And him said to me, whatever time he told me. So I said, but you're supposed to be in school now, and him say, whatever mash up and whatever. I say, come let me talk to you. I say, do you know that you being on the streets now, not helping you, you should be in say his situation at home. Everybody just make beer nice and everybody this and everybody that. So I say, all right, here what you're going to do for me now. I'm going to give you the money to buy the juice, but you're going to find a small corner and you're going to go on class. And you know, but me there far behind. Me say, all right, I'm going to set some work for you. And I started writing, and each day him pass and I give him a paper. And I said, go do that. And I want to see the answers when you come back. And he has been doing very well since that time till now. So the point is,
very good, very good, very good.
Nurturing. Isn't that awesome?
Very good, very good. My participant, 1 minute, Flavius, 1 minute there. I'm going to use the extra 10 minutes that I have left, right? So we're going to just put it back on the clock, and then we do the countdown from there. So we have 10 more minutes left, all right? Go ahead now, Flavius.
I was just saying, Francine, is that what he has encountered now is somebody that cares.
Yep.
And all of us.
Very good.
Very important. A lot of time, the parents are so stressed, them struggling so much, them don't have the time to stop and care. Like I'm telling the political directorate that you need to create your communities and you need to find opportunities in the area that people live. Because my area and the surroundings, more than half of the working people work in Kingston. And when they do that, they have to leave at 4 in the morning. Kids not wake up yet. And they come back at 9. Everybody in bed. Saturday and Sunday that they have, they must be doing so much housework and whatever. And things around the yard and whatever. Them still don't get no time to spend any quality time with their kids. And I think that is a major problem in Jamaica. We have to show the kids that we care. We have to be close to them. Spend some time with them. Yep. I mean, as much time as you as is possible.
Franco, one of the things that I noticed because I traveled the Caribbean extensively when I was serving, and I'm so happy that I had the benefit. I know the different accents. I can tell an Antiguan from a St. Vincent and so forth. But Antigua in particular, I remember going to Antigua and going to the stadium, and I think it was, who was it? Was it a bird in power at the time? But the bottom line is, I didn't even know who was the prime minister because I never see no bodyguard. I never see him come with no entourage or anything. And, politicians have to endeavor to live in this space to live and to be a part of the space, because as much as they can be apart and away from the space, things that are happening, it doesn't affect them. It's almost as if they're in Miami and so forth. And I think we have to see more of that, because a classic example is most of our politicians don't use KPH or UE, but in the pandemic they had to, because I know that as a fact. And when they use it, it was Tony Twaits, basically. But the bottom line is they have to be participants in the areas that they are preparing. And Favour spoke about the whole dormitory communities that we have. People just live and sleep there, right? And is out. So, there's an emptiness. And sometimes there's the unattached child as a result of going into Kingston and so forth. But politicians have to start being in the space, and not only seeing in the space when is election time or they want to do that. And until we have that, we're gonna find us and them. Us and them and the so
in
on.
other words, it's as if you're selling a product that you have never tried.
Yep. Yep.
Oh yes.
Okay.
A restaurant owner invited to lunch, and he's taking you up the road. In that in the place.
Not inviting you to his own.
No.
No. These
Oh.
are small things that we need to address and quickly. Time, things are going bad, and we need to put a stop to it now. Little by little, we need to change it.
Well, I still think and believe in the old school method. Say it can work. Community centers, police, youth clubs, and all those things. So we can bridge the gap between the youths and the police.
Oh yeah.
Private sectors have to come back in and play a role, because I remember back in my days in dynamic scenes, through the SDC projects that they had, we were youth clubs of the year, 3 consecutive year. We were given, we call it donations from Grace Kennedy to upgrade our community. We started a fowl farm, a goat rearing. We had a tuck shop, all these little things, Calalo farm, chicken farm, everything. And it was part of the community, because at a certain time of the month, every third Sunday, Food for the Poor would send us stuff, and we would give out to the community. And those who didn't purchase any chicken, they would go home with some chicken foot or a piece of chicken. And I tell you,
those things are still in place, It's just that it's not as
popular,
huge as
or
it
it's
is.
not
It's not
popular
popular.
nationwide, it seems like. It might be in a few communities, but
No, it's not. And the police youth club is not as strong as it used to be.
It was dominant. I mean, you never. I used to have a lot of friends who were members of the police youth clubs, and you would never believe that police were participating with them when we play against them. You wouldn't know until when the game finished. You would see them changing off back in them clothes, because them have to go back to go do them work or whatever. And it was amazing. You go places, and by the time you get there, you'd feel somebody say, "What you doing here?" When you look, is a police officer. You're not supposed to be here, so, because he know you from the youth club that you've come from. So I remember in 2015, I mentioned this to a friend of mine from Fort Lauderdale, because he was involved in a project with Trelawney, the parish of Trelawney. They were trying to make it like a twin city, something like that, between Fort Lauderdale and Trelawney. And I said to him, put on a game. Put on a game between the police and the public works. And he did. And he said, "Franco, I've never surrounded with so much gunmen in my life." And that's what you mean. He said pure police, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
That event went on. The police lost the game, right, to the public works, but they were mad. And I said to him, "Now you have something growing. Do it next year, and this time make sure you invite the private sector. Because guess what? You're going to have 2 shields. You're going to have the commissioner shield, and you're going to have the mayor's cup, which means it's 2 teams playing. So the winner going to get the biggest shield. You give them the mayor's cup, and then the runners-up go and get the commissioner's shield. So nobody will go home as a loser. And trust me, if you put on this activity year-round and get the community involved, once you want to start a toy drive, you can start it from September, and tell those who work in the public works sectors to tell those who come pay the light bill, the water bill, we want you to bring an unwrapped toy for our toy drive December. Get the community involved, and then you take time, spread it around other parishes.
Right. So as we speak, I'm in about 3 of those or 4 of those clubs. as we speak, and they are very, very much active, very, very much active. But because of this
Wonderful.
pandemic now, there is a slowing down. The pace has cut immense. It's like real crazy. So it's now door to door, and the contributions that we used to get like on a high volume, it has now trickled down. So it's mainly out of our pockets that we do these things now. We have persons in different groups. I work with patients. So for me, some of the patients who want to go back to school, some of the patients who is without groceries. I'm also a part of a team that it's a charitable program. It's not like we are supported by anybody else. We come together as a group, and we, from our pockets, we get sponsors from persons every now and then. And we send those patients to school. I'll find the ones that they are without any much benefits from home or stuff, and they are doing well. Some of those patients who thought that they were gonna die within a month or two or within a year or so, they are doing very well now. One became a pharmacist the other day, one is a teacher. So we get them from their small, and we walk them through the process, and they're doing well now. So these programs are because a lot of persons.
All about caring, man. Caring.
Yeah. Right. So you have persons who are very ill, and they are doing very well. So they are using the opportunity to use up these programs, while the healthy persons are using their strength to rob and kill. It sounds so sad, but it's true. Yeah. So the programs are there, but it's who taking advantage of the program. Sometimes you offer these things, but who wants to come and sit down or whatever? And then I think the program coordinators, they can do the things that can get, because younger minds, and they're listening to all of these junk music, they're going, if you don't have something to hold them, they will not come. So you have to do things that are lively activities. Most of the places closed down now. So so most of the things are done on Zoom. Who is going to sit on a Zoom meeting? If they're used to now being up and about, you have to do things that can captivate these young minds. You have to be creative. It's a must. If you're not creative, them young people here not sticking at all. I was in Canada in 2019. Yes, Mr. Cecil, I was in your country in 2019. I came there twice in 2019, and most of my family members, I must say, live there. Right? They're there from baby days till now. And I was there in 2019, and when I looked around and saw how the whole atmosphere is, and it is very clean, I must say, yes. So I find myself keep coming back to Canada. I was hoping to come in 2020, but of course, pandemic, going with a bag of something, and now lock me out totally. The US as well, persons would go and would meet persons over there, and as you meet them over there, you start to tell them, listen, I'm a part of this program. Persons will help, but now the whole pandemic shut down everything.
All right, my people.
All right, me don't talk now. Me don't talk.
Sorry but pardon me. Oh,
I'm Christina Williams. Just want to drop a 2 cents. So as a young person, I kind of agree with what you're saying, that you have to be creative and innovative. But at the same time, I believe that Jamaica have certain poor mentality and certain culture, because you ask the question, who would sit down in a Zoom meeting as a young person? You're looking at someone who does that. It's not something that hard. There are many young people who would sit down in a Zoom meeting, who would want all these things that I hear, even Franco naming out. In my community, for example, I've been living here for 28 years, and none of what Franco says has ever on my community. I've tried different things. I've gone. Guess what? The MP doesn't care. He doesn't do any of those things, whether social programs. I try to get other young people involved. They don't care either. So I think it comes down to a mindset, because we try to push all these things, whether football, all those different things. Guess what? For some reason, they are not showing up. They're just not participating. So I'm not really sure. So my thing is that from me looking on as a young person, I'm saying that to me it's just deeper than just being creative. It comes down to a mentality. It comes down to certain things that is endorsed in our culture, because even things that I hear you guys mentioning, for example, the fully done culture. That is something that is bigly endorsed in our. If you're fully done, is a big thing. If you're intelligent or you're intellectual, people
look at
don't
your
give you that.
crazy. Mm-hmm.
You don't get that respect in society, you know. You don't get that respect. It's when you're fully done, so you have whole heap of woman, you have whole heap of children. It's come down to a mentality, because a man who have only one child, him go on the road and a man see him and say, you not get no more children. These are the questions that people are asked, but they're not asking sensible questions. If you have a good woman, or you have a wife, or you're a good parent, do you have a good home to raise these children? These are questions that we should be asking, but they are not asked. Numerous time I'm on the road and people stop me. Oh, you're not married yet. So I say the husband has not found me yet. Until he finds me, then I'll get married. That's how it goes. Then they ask you why you not have children. So I said to myself, should I go there and just get children like that without you having a stable job, without you even having some kind of asset? We don't learn these things also in school. Yes, we learn bomb maths, but do we even learn financial literacy in school? There's a lot of things that we need to discuss in terms of our culture, our education system. What is it that we are really learning? I've told people that I've gone through primary school, high school, university. I've done all of those. I come to think of what is it that I have really learned. To me, really and truly, I've really learned, yeah, I have a degree, but what does it really mean? Because the life experience that I've learned, I mean, the school system has not really prepared me for it. And of course, school can't really prepare you for life, because life is about experience. But I mean, certain things I wish I was taught. So, for example, financial literacy. I wish I had learned something like that, to learn about land, that land is wealth. I wish I'd learned that. Instead, I'm being taught that I must come out and just get jobs. Now we're having a situation where most people are leaving university and can't get jobs. And they are now pushing this thing, entrepreneurship. I felt like we should have learned it long ago. I also feel like probably you should be learning something like chess. We have a maths issue in Jamaica. Probably chess is one of those something that we could have been learning from early. There are so many things that I think that we could have our education system is not suited for us. You know, because
But
as
you
a
know,
woman,
can I
can I
take? I would.
Hold on. One at a time. Make you finish up late and then I bring you in.
Yeah.
Let me finish. Let's finish. Remember this. So I'm a poet, and I didn't even like poetry in school, because the first thing I learned was William Shakespeare. No, I don't understand the language. That's the first thing. I cannot relate to the time that he was writing about. But the minute I started learning about Louise Bennett and Claude McKay, guess what? I was enlightened. No, the point that I'm making is, this is the problem that I have with black people and black countries. We like to learn things foreign, and the thing about it, you can't learn foreign when you have not learned about yourself. Until you know yourself, then you can learn and appreciate other things. Other things are just bonus. So until we start learning the true history about ourselves, and when I talk about the true history about ourselves, I'm talking about learning about the Zulu, the Ashanti tribe, these different tribes, and learn about these kings and queens. We never learn those things. Everybody know about slavery. Slavery is the first thing I know about our history. The first time I learned really history is when I went to university. And guess what? I chose history as a degree. And many people don't choose history as a degree. So imagine you don't choose that, or you don't choose no history courses. You will probably reach my age as age 28 and probably don't know nothing about yourself. And we continue to walk, we continue to be something that we are not. This is one of the reasons why Jamaica is having so many problems, because most of what we are following, the laws and stuff like that, they're outdated. They do not fit us as Africans. Another point that I want to make as well is that the first example, most people go through music class. I never really enjoy music class because them teach with the recorder, and I didn't enjoy the recorder. And I hear a lot of my classmates say they didn't enjoy it. And we had a piano, we could not touch the piano. And these are things that we enjoy: piano and drums. You know why? It is in our DNA as Africans. Those are the things that we're supposed to be learning. And if you want to learn Spanish, why we can't learn the Yoruba language? There's nothing wrong with learning things of our own people as well as combining with the foreign. It is good. These are good assets. These are things that we're not taught in school. So we'll continue to fail in the education system. I'm just telling the truth. The education system will continue to fail us. The homes, the homes, like, most people don't know to parent children. No, I'm not a parent myself. I know it's a very difficult task. But because I'm looking on, that's why I know say it's difficult. And this is why me not run ahead of myself. I'm going to go into something that I know say at this moment in time, I'm not, how to put it, no, probably 50% ready. But you'll never fully be ready to be a parent, but at least you're 50%. You could, build on yourself. These are all type of things that the society fail to go to the root problem. So all these things, Franco, all those things, social programs is one of the ways that you can bring unity in community, get people together. Look at the elders. There's a disconnect between the generations. Look at that as, for example, most young people will not be talking to elders or elders talking to young people. But within my mother time, she born 1960, and within her time, she told me, so when she was growing up, if there was a man who was a farmer or him do plumbing, he used to draw the young youths them together and say, listen, come let me teach you. I don't see that in my community. Most of the people I know them do whole heap of things. If you don't go to them directly, to say, teach me that, they won't call you. And probably they have their reason as well because they're afraid to call young people because we're fierce and we're fully done and we're unruly and all these things. So I think we need to come to the root cause that we have a culture problem, we have a mentality problem in this country, and the mentality of the people have to change before all of this can come together. That's my 2 cents.
Hear. Leighton, let me hear you now, Leighton.
Yeah, I listened to that youngster, and I was wondering if she was talking about my life.
Hey, Leighton, don't go no further with it. I can tell you that.
Yeah,
she put me in a mirror every time she talk.
Because there's a but, because she have had the benefit of such awareness. I remember me being a youngster and going around and helping almost everybody with them homework and show them how to do this and so forth. Me, and we come from gunman community. We came from that community, and it was what I knew because I never have no great role models to say, boy, I'm going to do this and so forth. But the whole business that the little bit that I have, I tried to pass on. I got people into JC. I went to the ministry when I was at St. Anne's and told them, say, I need to be challenged. Me, go ministry. And then say, well, get all this. There's so many things that we have to make that little difference, that little turn, You see, when my community see me on School Challenge, you never know everybody watch School Challenge in our area.
That's true. That's true.
You have to be, because I won School Challenge. You have to be that catalyst. You can't wait. Because sometimes, it's amazing. You talk about, I did history and maths as well. And you know what is amazing? What is amazing is how willing are you to impart to at least one person? You think you have to have a quorum of X amount? Start with you.
Beg your piece to it done, please.
Yeah? Start with you.
Yeah, man, that's good. That's good. AV.
Hold on, Franco. Yeah. Give me 1 second.
Okay, go ahead.
I have listened to Christina and I have listened to Leighton, and the part I was listening for, Leighton actually dropped that in. Now, I don't know about everybody, but I am a full-fledged Jamaican. And the challenges that Christina faced, I face those same challenges. However, what do you do with it? It's what is important. Sitting back and blaming persons for not this and not that cannot help the situation. What can help the situation? You have to make that change. So you are from an environment that everybody fully done. Do I want to be fully done? No. you step out of the fully done situation. So it goes right back to where it started. You know where the root is? In your home. That is where the root is. The root is not in the society. The root is in your home. How do I go out and prove to the world that everybody who comes from an inner city is not fully done? How do I prove to the world, or how do I prove to myself that even though I see so many females around me have had several children without one stable father, one stable marriage, one stable this, how do I stop that from happening to me? How do I show the world that I can be a good mother? I've seen mothers neglecting their children. I've seen mothers raising their children, sending them out to go take man and all them something there, sending them out to do this, sending them out to that. What do I do as a mother? Do I follow the trend? No. What do I want to instill in my child? I know what I want for my child. I know what I want for myself. So it depends on what you want. Now, making yourself marketable, it is impossible to learn one set of culture. You have to be broad spectrum. Why? When you go overseas, you are able to function. And I really and truly appreciate what Christina said, but I have to disagree with the educational part of it. Let me tell you why. When we go overseas and you see a Jamaican working amongst many foreigners, especially the good working Jamaicans, you can identify a Jamaican. Why? Because the Jamaican outshines everybody else. They are accurate in most of their doings. When I work in a dialysis unit overseas, and there are some things that I see happening, and in Jamaica that will never happen. That will never happen. Why? Because you not just only put a patient on a machine, you also educate them about the whole illnesses that they have. So the patient don't just come and rely on the nurse to put them on. They don't just come and sit down like that. They are well equipped with education. Where is it coming from? The nurse. Where is it coming from? The healthcare workers that is in and around. And I'm pretty sure that Jamaican system has been bashed over and over and over. And everybody take up themselves and run gone to the foreign country. If you were not properly trained, you would never function. So,
Francis.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to disagree with you in some part of your conversation. But
Francis, one more thing.
Okay.
I am going to send $100 to Christine, and she tell me where she do in terms of touching lives. You just give me her particulars, me I go send it, because me I put my money where my mouth is.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, man, go make some connection.
Me I go give her that, and then she come back and tell us how much lives she has touched.
AV, you hear that, AV?
Right, Christina?
AV.
Stop waiting on persons to do it. You go and make that change.
You hear that?
Me say, resources might be short, so no, okay, me I gonna give you something. You remember the 10 talents? What you do with your talent, and come back and tell us. Francis, you just make the connection and do it, and we do that.
Okay. Right? Anyway, guys.
There's been challenged now.
And no, well, you know, there's a lot of agree and disagreement, and I'm glad that we can be able to agree and disagree mutually, because the feeling right here is mutual. I must thank Stacey Ann, because she's the one who started the conversation this morning, and Leighton, Francine, Henrietta, and Fire Tablet, and Cecil. Thank all of you for coming and for participating, and all comments and suggestions and advice, you know, for me was accepted, and I'm glad we were able to agree and disagree with some of them. Flavius, sir, I want to give you the last word. The last word here is who do we have tomorrow? That's the last
tomorrow,
because they're pushing me out of the space right now. Who do we have tomorrow?
Tomorrow, the 12th of May, we have the Honorable Minister of Housing and Environment in Jamaica, Honorable Pernell Charles Jr., and we will be speaking to him about his portfolio, mainly housing and environment.
Are we going to be able to have a platform like this with participants in the Zoom room?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But what I would propose going forward for some time, we'll have to check the schedule. But I would like us to do this platform on a Tuesday for a while.
Okay.
I think we can suspend single guests for a while on a Tuesday and have this platform.
No, fair enough.
So we will just look on what our schedule looks like, and then we cut off single guests for a while, and we just go through with this, because I think this is wonderful. I think this is beautiful. And I'm pretty sure we'll have more people coming into it, as we continue. This morning, the first morning.
All right. We gotta go, Flavius. We gotta go, because they're pushing me out. So before I leave, let me give you the daily inspiration from Answer Lee, and then I'm gonna take myself out of here.
Breathe.
Okay.
Deeply. Let the pounding of your heart coalesce the universal cycle. Your purpose placed in the cultivation of the mindset to create the good day today. Articulate innovations.
Okay. That was Answer Lee with today's daily
Wonderful.
inspiration. Thank you all for coming, and I gotta cut because other people need to use the space that I'm in. So until tomorrow, see you, take care of yourself, and everyone have a good afternoon.
Thanks very much for inviting me.
You're welcome, Cecil.
I enjoyed listening to you. Francine, lovely again. I love you, Francine.
Ah, thank you.
All right,
And
guys.
Leighton, not bad. And everybody else.
All right,
Bye.
Cecil.
Until
Bye.
next time.
Okay.
All you gotta do is just speak. One word is enough, and I'm no longer so rough. I forget what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me know I said me if it could flee. Me have to take away me say. Me have to take away me say. Me have it hide like a thief in the night. Me have to get out of sight. Me have to take away me self. Have to take away myself. I have to utilize I weeds. Surely I cleave your eyes. I said, yeah. I find you very hard to resist. With this relationship I'm gonna desist. But how can I face you when all I wanna do is just taste you? I know you think I play me, but soon you're gonna see the light of day. Just relax, don't move an inch. I'll be gone in a pinch. May I feel take away me